Okay, now this is a question that you get in paper. All right. This says summarize what Bob Hunter thinks would appeal to customers booking a holiday with his travel company according to text B. Okay. So summary writing question can be of multiple strands. All right. Multiple strands means they can either ask you about two things. So they can be either one strand question, all right, or two strand question, you know. Uh, okay, so which means one strand means they might ask you about one aspect, all right? So one strand means one aspect only, aspect only, which means either they ask either advantages and just wait, yeah, and either advantages or disadvantages. Okay, so two strand means both, all right, both two aspects. Okay, which means you might have to write about both advantages or and disadvantages. Okay, so whenever you get a summary question, advantages. All right. So whenever you get a summary question, so okay, yes, I'm teaching right now. Okay. So so whenever you get a summary question, the first thing that you should ask yourself either is it a one strand question? I do have to talk about one aspect only, or do I have to talk about two different aspects? All right. So now let's look at this question here. All right. It says summarize what Bob Hunter thinks would appeal to customers booking a holiday with his travel company, according to text B. So Fatima, you tell me, is it a one strand question or two strand question?
One strand.
All right, Fatma is not here. All right, it's one strand because it's asking you about one aspect. All right. Now the second thing is, um, whenever you do any question, okay, particularly summary writing, you have to make sure you're writing in a way that reader has no understanding of the original text. Okay, so you cover your point in a way, according to the question, the readers does not have access to the original text. Okay, so you should cover all those points in a manner that can be helpful for the reader. All right. Now tell me, whenever we talk about if you look at the question, it says, so what Bob Hunter thinks would appeal to customers booking a holiday with his travel company. Okay. So whenever you want to book anything with a holiday or any travel plan with a company, what do you keep in mind? Yes, Mira, what do you keep in mind whenever you're booking um, a
The
holiday
prices,
prices? All right. Okay. Prices. I'll write down that here. Prices. Yes, what else?
the location,
Location. All right.
what services they
Service.
provide.
Well, yeah, services they provide.
Um, I think that's it.
Okay. So one more thing we also look at it, history of the history of the company. All right. History of the company since when it was established and how many travels they have offered, and what is the review of the customers. Review of the customer is also important whenever you're writing. So this is the kind of information that you might be expecting as a reader, all right? You know, which is as a reader you'd be expecting the summary, right? So, and these are the same reasons why Bob Hunter, uh, who's the um, who's the owner of the company, is suggesting in his text why would his company appeal to why his travel company would appeal to customers. Okay, so let's read the text and then we are going to look at the sample summary which is written by a student. Okay, so Fatma is back. All right. So Bob Hunter thinks would appeal to customers booking a holiday with his company. Now let's look at the text here. All right. Okay. So Anish is also here. Right. Okay. So text B, it says the text B is the authentic travel company. All right. So we'll be highlighting the points that you could make, you can write in your summary. Okay. So Meera, can you read the opening paragraph, please?
Okay. When Australian Bob Hunter co-founded Authentic Travel in 1989, offering smaller group tours abroad, the menu offered was less varied than it is today. He was the company's only guide. Thailand was its only destination, yet the basic concept of travelers getting a genuine, real experience, as reflected in the name, proved a winner. Over the next decade, the company expanded into Southeast Asia, and in 1989 went global. Today, Hunter oversees 1,300 local guides working in an impressive 130 countries, despite and to continue exploring. We interviewed him to find out more.
All right, thank you. Now, for all those who have just joined us, we'll just go back to the question here. All right, we are looking at summary writing question. Okay, and this question says, summarize what Bob Hunter thinks would appeal to customers booking a holiday with his travel company according to text B. Okay, so summary writing question can be either of one strand or two strand. One strand means the question can demand you to write about one aspect of the text only. This can be advantages or disadvantages. This can be benefits or drawbacks. Okay, or can be pros and cons. So two strand can be, they might ask you to write about two different aspects or maybe both advantages and disadvantages. So looking at this question, we came to know that this is a one strand question only. We're being asked to write only about something that could appeal his to appeal customers to book holiday with his travel company. So summary should be written in a way that reader does not have access to original text. So you should cover all the points according to the question. Okay. So when I asked the question that when you're booking a holiday with any company, so what do you keep in mind? So I got a response from student. They said prices, location, and services they provide. In addition to this, we also keep in mind the history of company. What does that company do? Okay, and what are the reviews of customers about that holiday company? Okay, so travel company. All right. So that's why now we're reading a text which is from from insert text B, and now we're looking at how can we summarize it together. Fatima, can you read the second paragraph? Miss Fatima.
Yes.
Yeah, the first place.
The first place I traveled to was the UK after graduating from university in 1981, age 21. I met a great friend, and afterwards we backpacked around a dozen different European countries. I didn't get to travel again until I was 27 when I spent 3 months traveling around Southeast Asia. It was when I started thinking about all the people back in Australia who would enjoy backpacking overseas but worried about safety, so didn't have the confidence to do it all by themselves. Organizing things like healthcare can also be tricky and time consuming, even for us as professionals.
Okay. And now he's telling us the history why he started of this company and what was the major concern when he traveled to UK at the age of 21 and then he traveled at the age of 27. There is a gap of 6 years in between his travel. Okay. So I started exploring, the third paragraph says, so I started exploring the idea of more supported kind of backpacking or one which did not involve staying in dingy, musty places travelers on foot might normally expect to be offered, but in hotels and guest houses that are clean and comfortable. But the moment those guests walked outside the hotel, they would still get to see what every other backpacker saw, a different culture, without being isolated from the local people and realities of everyday life. Okay, Anish, can you read this paragraph? The one I have highlighted. I want to ensure that you're present. Okay.
Of course, there are some pluses to traveling solo, and so the schedule also allows flexibility. Customers know that they can just join in with the group when they want. Yes, solo travelers do have ultimate flexibility and can change their plans instantly. But there are many travel activities for which you need a group of people. I first realized this when I was traveling in Borneo and discovered the only affordable way to go on a boat into the heart of the country was with a group.
Okay, thank you. Right. Now we'll look at the next paragraph. It says attitudes to travel vary, but many people now realize there's so much more out there than sitting by a hotel pool. There is stuff going on outside the resort, and people want to experience it. And that is what Authentic Travel Company has always been about. I did go on a cruise once to Antarctica. Yes, the wildlife was amazing, but cruising really only offers a taste of a destination. Okay. Now remember, your question is you always need to keep your question in mind, and it's good to refer back to it. Okay, when you're reading a text. So your question clearly says, what would appeal customers booking a holiday with travel company of Bob Hunter. Or so what does his travel company offer? So it's always good to make up your mind map related to these 5 points: history of the company, review of the customers, prices, location, and services they provide. Okay, so keeping these five points in mind will help you to make notes for your summary. Okay. So as you're reading your text, you can keep making your points along. But it's very much important to read text in one go at least. This is not a good technique that you read paragraph wise and make points initially. No, it's good. The best technique is to read the entire text in one go. And then in the second reading, begin picking your point according to the question. Okay. And eliminate the points that you do not need them. Now let's move to the next paragraph. All right. Meetup, can you read this one? The last two paragraphs, please.
I notice more and more conventional travel companies are now trying to imitate us, saying busy city, people crave real life. I'm not convinced those guys really mean it. They're just trying to in on this new trend being a mindful traveler. Some of the destinations they're proposing to visit are great for water or electricity supplies. It can get online in those places, and mobile phones rarely work. I doubt many people will want to stay in these resorts where the main attraction seems to be that you hand over your smartphone on arrival and do nothing for a week. Our future, I think, could be in developing our special interest travel experiences. The demand is there. For example, you can do a tour of railway lines in Europe. A bit extreme perhaps, but understandably they're proving popular.
All right. Thank you. Okay, now, so these last two paragraphs are actually something that his company is not offering, and he is negating the point over here that why walking, traveling to black hole resorts, or maybe to the places where there's no electricity, all right, or maybe companies that are actually promoting mindful travel is not going to be worth it. Okay. Whereas, he says the future is different. People want to travel to um, places and experience, such as tour of railway lines in Europe, or maybe extreme sports. Maybe they want to experience fabulous food trips, right? Because they are more popular than staying in a black hole resort. But we have talked about black hole resorts earlier in the classroom. Can anyone unpack the concept of black hole travels? Anish, what are black hole resorts?
सर जो दुनिया से बिल्कुल अलग होते हैं, मतलब बहुत दूर होते हैं, उधर कोई इंटरनेट वगैरह नहीं होता।
हाँ, remote areas में ना, or very remote areas, far distant areas where they want people to enjoy the primitive lifestyle, uh, you know, staying away from electricity, enjoying the nature. There are a few companies that are offering that one also. Good. Okay. Now is the point we need to look at that since we're done reading it in one go, now is the point we have to make content related to a summary question. Now, the question again is, I'm going back to it. It says, summarize what Bob Hunter thinks would attract people, customers to his company, and what is special about his company. What does his company do? Okay. So for this question, you in 1123 you are given 20 marks for it, whereas in 0500 there are 15 marks for summary writing. Word limit for 0500 is 120, whereas for 1123 it's 150 words. Okay, so you're given marks on reading and you're given marks on writing as well. Okay, so one thing is for sure, in both papers, you do not, you cannot use words from the text. Okay, apart from the technical terminology, you cannot use words from the text, right? What I'm doing, I'm giving you all 5 to 7 minutes to go through the text and make your points related to the summary question. Okay?
Sir, where's the text?
Yeah, I have shared already this text in the group. Okay, you can take it from there. Otherwise, I can put that on display. All right. So can be all right in the summary. All right, summary is there. Do you want me to put this text on the display, Nita?
Sir, I'll get it myself.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'll show the text anyway. Yes. Anish is also requesting for the text, so I'll show the text here. Okay. But keep the question in mind when you are actually making points, please. Only we have to write down the what would attract people to his company, Bob Hunter's company. And we will keep all those 5 points in mind. History of the company, review of the customers, what do they offer, what places do they go, and prices. There's not much mentioned about prices in the text though. Okay, there you go. You have the text on screen and you have 7 minutes for this, okay, to make points. 7 minutes, yep. Anish, you are making points for to write summary. From these three paragraphs, if you have made few points that you can use in your summary, then I can scroll down further to the next four paragraphs, and then you can take points from there. Okay. So summary question is there: why would authentic travel company would appeal people? Why would people book Bob Hunter's travel company for holidays? Okay, so you have to make points about that. Just 10 to 12 points, please. Or those points should be made in your own words. Yes, in
Sir,
support. Yes, in support, because the question is asking you about what would appeal people. All right. So we'll not write something that will not appeal people. Okay. So I'm just going to highlight it over here. All right. And this is the perspective of Bob Hunter. And you can write summary in third person perspective as well. Okay. But Bob Hunter thinks his company would appeal people because blah, blah, blah. All right. Bob Hunter established his company on this day. Yes, Meera, you were asking something?
so you didn't share it on our group chat.
I did not share it.
You didn't.
All right. Let me just check here once more. No, it's there in the boys group. Let me just check in the girls group or not. Yes, it's there. I'm just giving thumbs up. All right, the one I have, yes, the one that carries my thumbs up, that is the text I'm talking about. Meetup, can you see it now? Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank
All
you.
right, you're welcome. I'll scroll down to the rest of the paragraphs. The possible points that could be part of a summary, I'm just going to highlight those. All right, and then see, I've told you you need to rephrase this. Rephrasing or writing sentences in passive voice is very much important, right? So the possible points that you can write in summary, obviously it's about history, so you need to write down a bit about okay, what when this company was established, all right? So a bit of this one, okay? When was established and when it became global. Well, so this entire, the one I've highlighted, this can be summed up in just one or two lines. Okay. Anish is saying something, I guess. Yeah. All right, let me just check. Because you have to write points in the favor. Why would people appeal? Why would travel company appeal to customers? Okay. The area that I've highlighted, can you write in just in two lines? You are summing it up. You're squeezing that information. Inshallah. Now, In this paragraph, we can clearly see, once we look at the history of it, now what are the views of Bob Hunter about travel? All right. Now, this is very clear over here. It says that, okay, I think thinking about all people uh, who would enjoy backpacking overseas, but they're worried about their safety. Okay, many people love to travel, but the only thing is safety is the concern. All right. His company takes care of the safety anyway. And then he said, I started exploring the idea of more supported kind of backpacking. Okay. This part can be there. All right. And this can be summarized as well. Squeeze that information, write in passive voice. That will be helpful. And he says, there are some pluses to traveling solo. There are people who like to travel on their own alone, but there are actually the schedule allows flexibility. Okay, but at the same time, traveling a group matters a lot. All right. So do have ultimate flexibility can change the travel plans instantly, but there are many travel activities for which you need group. So his company is offering also group and solo plans that people can move. He's also talking about attitude towards travel, what people like to do. Sightseeing involves lot of other things are involved in it. We'll take a break of 10 minutes, all right? In about 4 minutes, when the class will automatically end, and then we'll join back. All right. So by then, I hope you would have written your points, and you must have written the opening paragraph of the summary. Then I'll show you a sample candidate response and how many marks he got, and then what's the difference in that marking. Okay, so how to gain marks in summary writing, how to get maximum marks in summary writing. Summary writing is the only question where students really get less marks. There are two reasons for it. Number one is they do not write the summary according to the requirement of the question. Number two, they copy lots of words from the text. Copying lots of words from the text um, you know, is a very bad impression, and it's not advised at all because uh, you have to write summary in your own words. Yes, 11 o'clock will start again. You're right. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to end this class right now. So we'll take a 10 minutes break and then we'll be back again after 10 minutes. Okay. Take care. Allah Hafiz.